In the spring of 2020, there were doubts the NBA would even hold the playoffs amid a global pandemic. But the extraordinary season that introduced us to the concept of the bubble culminated with LeBron James leading the Los Angeles Lakers to their 17th NBA championship. The Lakers came into this season with legitimate championship aspirations and two superstars in their starting five. The Purple and Gold won 49 of its first 63 games and held a healthy lead for first place in the West just about a month before the playoffs were set to begin. But on March 11th, the NBA announced the suspension of its season following news that then Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert tested positive for COVID-19, shortly before the Jazz's road game against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Fans, due to unforeseen circumstances, the game tonight has been postponed. You are all safe.
Sports, and much of what we think of as normal life, were on hold. For months, the season looked lost, but behind the scenes, players, governors, and league officials worked to somehow save it. A little more than 3 months after the stoppage began, the league released a medical protocol to be used during the season restart to ensure the health and safety of players, coaches, officials, and staff. The protocol outlined 6 phases from June through late July, ending with the resumption of play in a so-called bubble at Disney World. There were no fans, no road trips, and well, not much to do except hang out and play basketball. This was the setting for the 2020 NBA playoffs. It was, as we said over and over, unprecedented, and that's still an understatement. The Lakers entered the playoffs with 2 signature attributes, that superstar duo and an elite defense. Let's start with those superstars. No other team in the league had a duo as good as LeBron and AD, and they both feasted down low. LeBron led LA in shots made in the paint that year, edging out Davis by just 39. Respectively, that was good for 4th and 10th in the NBA that year in paint buckets, helping both players put up gaudy numbers. James turned 35 in December of 2019, but don't let that fool you. He was still at his apex. He became the oldest player to average 25 points and 10 assists in a season in NBA history. At 26, Davis was just entering his prime as one of the most effective two-way big men in the league. After a disappointing 2018-19 season, the Lakers went all in to acquire Davis. They traded a war chest of valuable assets to the Pelicans, including Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and several first-round picks. But the move paid off as Davis averaged 26.1 points and 2.3 blocks in his first season in LA. He also played 62 out of a possible 71 regular season games, an important piece to getting max AD. Davis became the first Lakers player to average 25 points and 2 blocks in a season since Shaquille O'Neal in 2002-2003. But here's the thing, not all superstar duos work out. Sometimes the chemistry just isn't there, but that wasn't the case with these two. And even though James has played with some incredible talent throughout his remarkable career, the version of Davis in 2019-20 might be the best teammate he's ever had. During the regular season, LeBron won his first career assist title, averaging 10.2 assists per game. James also led the league with 684 total assists, and a whopping 184 of those dimes went to the brow. In other words, nearly 27% of LeBron's league-leading assist number went directly to Davis. And over half of those led to dunks and layups like this.
Alley-oop! Oh, perfect pass!
And like this.
Here is James threading the needle to Davis for the finish.
The chemistry between the Lakers' two stars was magnificent all year long, and that James to Davis combo was by far the single most prolific passer-shooter duo in the NBA. Together, LeBron and AD averaged over 50 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists per game. One of the smartest playmakers ever and one of the most athletic big men in recent history were at the heart and soul of this championship team. But the rest of this Lakers squad was deep and talented, and that was most reflected in their awesome defense. Before landing in LA, Frank Vogel had already developed a reputation as a defensive mind during his time coaching the Indiana Pacers in the 2010s. But as good as those teams were, they could never get past LeBron in the East. In LA, Vogel built another great defense, and this time, James was on his side.
Blocked out of bounds! That's LeBron James!
When most people think of the great Lakers teams, they naturally think of offense. After all, the Lakers have won titles with incredible offensive teams led by Jerry West, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant. And sure, the 2019-20 Lakers could score too, but they won a lot of games with defense. A quick look at the roster reveals elite defensive talent from top to bottom. Both James and Davis are great defenders, but players like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, Dwight Howard, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, and Avery Bradley thrive on that end too. During the regular season, they ranked third in the NBA and first overall in the West in defensive efficiency. The Lakers' D was especially good at forcing turnovers. Their opponents turned it over on 15.7% of their possessions, which ranked third in the league and first out west. Sometimes the best offense is a great defense, and that was the case for the 2019-20 Lakers. Come playoff time, the Lakers dominated with that familiar template. The pair of James and Davis combined scoring volume and efficiency in ways no teammates had ever done in a postseason in league history. There have been 4 instances of a player recording an effective field goal percentage of 60% in a single postseason. Davis and LeBron had 2 of those in the 2020 playoffs. LeBron has the other 2. This incredible duo became the first pair of teammates to average 25 points per game on 50% field goal percentage in the same postseason in NBA history. Kobe and Shaq never did that. Neither did Jordan and Pippen. But James and Davis did do that, and AD's jump shooting was a huge reason why. If there's a big weakness in the Browse portfolio, it is his jumper. But that was a different story in Orlando. In the bubble, Anthony Davis shot 40.4% on jumpers overall, including 45.7% in the playoffs. This success has not carried over since then. But in the bubble, Davis was a hyper-efficient and hyper-versatile scorer. The numbers are wild. Overall, he averaged 27.7 points, 57% shooting, and 38% on three-pointers in those playoffs. Traditionally, Davis hasn't scared anyone from deep, but his ability to hit three-pointers was suddenly on full display, and it peaked in Game 2 of the conference finals when Davis hit this unforgettable game winner on the Nuggets.
Here's Davis, 4-3 in the win. Oh, it's good! Anthony Davis has won it for the Lakers!
That dagger was the first game-winning buzzer-beater three-pointer by a Lakers player since Robert Horry in Game 4 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals. Davis's 57% from the field in the playoffs is the 4th highest in a single postseason in NBA history, bested only by these legendary Lakers big men. And it's just further proof that the LeBron-era Lakers will only go as far as Davis can take them. But as good as Davis was, the 2020 finals were more about James, who met a very familiar foe in the championship series. James went to the finals 4 straight times with the Miami Heat between 2011 and 2014, but in 2020, he went to the finals against them. And the Kings' former coach Erik Spoelstra had no answers for his old friend. James churned out a unanimous Finals MVP performance as the Lakers dismantled Miami in 6 games. He became the second player ever to score 25 points on 50% or better shooting in each game of a final series, joining Shaquille O'Neal, who did it 4 times. He led his team in points, rebounds, and assists for the 7th time in his finals career, more than double all other players in NBA history combined. And with a chance to clinch a title, James played an incredible game. He logged a triple-double in the closeout win, the 11th of his finals career, most all time. With this championship, LeBron James added to his endless list of accomplishments, earning his 4th Finals MVP award, the 2nd most in NBA history behind Michael Jordan. Oh, and in doing this, James became the 4th player to win Finals MVP at age 35 or older, joining Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and Michael Jordan. This outcome was exactly what the Lakers franchise had in mind when they acquired James in 2018. Heading into the 2019-20 season, the Lakers, one of the proudest franchises in sports, had failed to even make the playoffs for 6 consecutive seasons. But James and Davis winning number 17 for LA changed all that, tying the Celtics for the most titles in NBA history and evening the championship score in pro basketball's greatest rivalry.
It don't matter where it is. If you win a championship, the bubble doesn't matter. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
This championship will always be remembered for its unusual setting in both place and time. The bubble was a remarkable accomplishment and an unforgettable chapter in NBA history. And forever linked to this moment in time is a powerful playoff run from the King and his crew.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.